What is up, all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land? This is Black Cat Hobbies. Figure it's time to bring you part 2 of the journey through Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going to have that a little loud. If you'll let me know if that is the case, and I will make sure I correct that for future videos. Hopefully you're all having a wonderful day. Certainly better than mine, probably. I've already managed to stab myself on some terrain that I was working on for a project. But, what are you going to do? So in today's video, I'm probably going to do a little bit of grinding. Of course, the world queue is full. I'm going to do what I can to get in. If this takes too long, I will cut the video. Unfortunately, we're still new enough in the expansion that this does occasionally happen. Alright, looks like we're going to be able to get in. Since this didn't take that long, I'm probably not going to cut the video. Yeah, turn it down just a little bit, but that should be better, right? The one downside, since I'm still getting used to this capture device, I haven't figured out how to have the audio from it running through my headphones, but I have to have them hooked in for a microphone at this time, so... Alright. Main reason we might do a little bit of grinding first, other than just finishing up a few side quests that we have running, is the next quest we get from the guild here that we're a part of. I believe takes us out to Summerford Farms. That also happens to be the next portion of the main story scenario. And it seems a little pointless to run out there at level 4, do a few things, hit level 5, come back, get to the guild, and then they just send us right back out there. So if it's not going to take too long, and I don't think it will, at least from what I can remember, I'm probably going to get myself to level 5 real fast, and we'll head out to Summerford Farms for the main portion of this video. Alright. She's seeking the services of an unoccupied adventurer. Alright, she wants us to make a delivery to the Sisters of the Edelweiss. I will probably go ahead and do this, because it shouldn't take too long and she'll give us a few experience, but that is actually an area that leads to getting the rogue job unlocked, which we can't actually do until level 10. At least I believe it's level 10. There's a certain part in the storyline that allows us to start unlocking extra things. Sweetnix is happy that we delivered the package in the previous video. And he gives us coins and a little bit of XP. We do have some rested XP, not as much as I'd like, but it's something. If I'm not mistaken, this gentleman is just going to have us do a quick little bit around the marketplace. Yeah, looking into market prices. We're going to go to Iron Thunder, Kyokyorun, and Sene Hill. It's a weird name, but sure, why not? It's a quick quest, it's easy XP. And it's literally everything is right here. It's basically being like, hey, check out my stuff. Everything's straight from the forges. We don't actually have to look at his stuff though, so I may also take a moment to run to my postmaster. Being that I've been subscribed since day one, I have a lot of mail. Square Enix will send you things just for having a continuous subscription, which is kind of nice. It's all cosmetic stuff, and it's not really going to do much, but the character can look a little nicer until I get start actual gear. Alright, that's two talk to. Here's the third. He realizes what's going on, but has nothing to hide. Where did they go? Right over here, this is an independent mender. If your gear starts getting damaged, you're going to want to go and visit a person like this. They'll repair it for a small fee. It is possible to repair it on your own if you have the proper crafting skills. Obviously, at low level, we're not going to yet. We turn it in with the list to Bansing. Says nothing's wrong, but they sometimes get pirates selling stolen goods at really cutthroat prices. No one wants to see the numbers driven down across the alley. He gives us earth shards, which we'll need for crafting later, and some XP. Alright, if things start getting a little weird, I am also uploading the previous video as I'm recording this. I don't know how well that's going to work, but apparently my upload speed is rather slow, and the previous video has been uploading for probably a good 10 hours. And I figured I really need to go ahead and get this recorded, and I didn't really want to wait for the other to finish. So if things start to get a little stuttery, it's probably that. But I'm hoping we're not going to run into any issues. Alright. Since we're right here, where'd he go? The itinerant Moogle, if this is what I think it is. This is something else, actually. This allows us to turn in irregular tomestones of philosophy to get whistles for different mounts. I'm not entirely sure what this map is for. Looks to be something for level 70 characters. An earring. There is an area where you can actually play Final Fantasy music as long as you have the orchestration scrolls. A nice paladin weapon. Some other things. So yeah, he lets you turn in stuff from higher end content to get interesting items. Including some hard to obtain crafting materials. That'll be nice later. I was fairly sure the postmaster was around here. I'm not entirely worried about it, but it was worth a shot. That area is the upper decks. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. It's been long enough I apparently don't remember where the postmaster is. It's not a big deal. I'll pick it up some other time. I'm not even sure what I would have want to put on. I believe I have some Cloud Strife gear that's cosmetic, some Squall Leonhart. Might be I can't believe I'm spacing his name. The main character from Final Fantasy IX, Zidane, that's who it was. Some gear from Furion from Final Fantasy II. Yeah, it's just a lot of cosmetic stuff they've given, and maybe a couple of mounts. Which the mounts would be nice, but they're not that big a deal at the moment. So, if you recall from the last video, right at the end, we got our hunting log. So in this case, it wants us to kill ladybugs, wharf rats, Aurelias, which are in a different area, bee clouds. Every time we'll get the experience for defeating them, and then as we complete each one of these, it gives us some bonus experience for completing that portion. And then if you complete the whole thing, there's a nice chunk of bonus experience, in this case 2500. But, I mean, these only go up to level 10 monsters, so 2500 is actually still a nice little chunk at that point. So, they want us to fight some rats. So we'll hit this rat, hit this ladybug. Basically just going to grab some extra XP until it's worth going over to Summerford Farms. Alright, I actually already finished the Wharf Rats, but I already had clicked it, so I might as well finish it off. I'm a little curious. I know there was a lot of controversy back when Shadowbringers was announced because a lot of people really wanted to see both the Hrothgar that I'm playing and the Viera, who I did not pick, have both male and female variants, and instead we got two races that were locked to gender. How do y'all feel about that? Personally, it didn't really bother me. I mean, I was just happy to have new playable races because it's always fun. But I understand that for some people that's just something that they really don't like. Feel free to leave comments down in the comments section. I am curious to see your different opinions. That being said, since it can be controversial, please try to keep comments civil. And level 4, excellent. We got our first, or not our first, but our next skill, which lets us start having our first combo. If I'm not mistaken, this is also our enmity generating combo, which is something we're going to really need here soon. Or at least once we get to dungeons. And they're just talking about how combos work and things like that. If people want, I can go into more detail about that in a future video. I'm not really sure if anyone's actually going to be interested in that part, so just let me know down in the comments, or send me a message. I'll try to get my YouTube, not my YouTube, but my Facebook and my email linked to this here soon. Alright, now they wanted, let's see, if we go back to logs, we've completed the first two, so then it needs us to go to Lower Lanasia, the Moraby Bay for Aurelias. These, you're going to see me move around a lot more on these, most likely. If I'm remembering things correctly, they do have a paralysis ability. It's rather annoying, which also means you may hear slight complaints. I don't know how I have the camera set up on here yet. I haven't looked in my settings. If it's not set the way I want it to be, I will most likely adjust that once I end this video. The settings themselves currently are not bad, but I know that there are some dungeons later on in the game where you want your camera set up a certain way, otherwise they just get difficult. Let's see, it's a bit above my level, but it might not be too difficult and would come in handy. He's saying that Brimstone is blocked. A gentleman named Broenroot out of Blind Iron Mines. Yeah, they kind of released some gas while they were dealing with that. It got a little too much. Need to clear this earth crystal and plug the leak properly. Have to mine the syrphid clouds. I might go try it real fast just to see if I even can, since it's level 7 and I'm only level 4 right now. But if it works, it'll be a nice way to jump the level up quickly. And if it doesn't, well, it's not too far from where I was, so I can get out here quickly enough. So use this earth crystal. We're going to get attacked. I thought we were going to get attacked. I know when we do this on at least one of them, we're going to have enemies ambush us. Here we are. The one nice thing about being a lower level at the moment is I can't accidentally aggro non-hostile enemies. When I hit later levels, I'll have skills that let me hit multiple enemies at once, and then doing something like this, if I'm not paying attention, I could pull a decent amount of the cave. That does actually get kind of annoying, at least when you're doing missions that are higher level than you. But at the same time, this class is built to deal with it, so that might not be too bad. Alright, one more. This one's level 8. Yeah, I mean, as you can see right now, especially with a level 1 weapon, since I haven't received a new one yet, I am not doing a lot of damage to my enemy. It's another reason why I want to get to level 5. When I complete that quest for the Marauders, they will give me a new weapon. Down the road, this becomes less of an issue just because I'll have some crafting, so if I need a new weapon, I'll just be able to make one. But early game, before you can get access to crafting classes, it's just an issue you run into a little bit. It's all part of standard MMO progression. He's happy for the fresh air. He's happy that he's not going to have to write letters home to their families when they do something stupid in there. So we're going to get an Allegan bronze piece from this, which will sell for 100 gil, their main currency. Then we have an option between a copper ring or a bone ring. A bone ring will give you intelligence and mind. This is really good for your casting classes. This gives us a bonus to strength and dexterity. It's good for all of our Disciple of War classes. More importantly, we also get 1,275 experience. So we select what option we want. The gold or gil we're gonna get either way. And that bumped us to level 5. And that opens up the armory system, allowing us to put new gear on. Doesn't really do much good for us at the moment. It's also a way to easily switch between jobs once we get more unlocked. Alright, well, because of that, let's run back to Limsa and actually run this time. We'll grab the next quests that are actually important and get things going. This video might still end up a little longer than I had planned, mostly because I really wasn't paying attention to when I had started. So I've got about a rough idea of what time I want to stop though, so Partly because I found out that my recording uh, software, I was going to say device, but the software was built in with the device, doesn't like to go or record videos much longer than an hour. The previous video, I believe it cut it at about an hour 16, and then the rest had to be done as a separate video, and then played around with in editing so that it all linked together. It's doable. It's just, it's kind of an annoyance, and I'm not sure if you guys really want like hour and a half long videos anyway. I mean, this game does have a lot of content. If that's what you want, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Alright, it's a part about the Fate system, their active time events, something that comes in handy later if you want to just get some extra XP and things. Right now, there's enough other stuff to do that we're probably not going to worry about them too much. Alright, so go talk to Grefar. Go back up to the bar. Maybe get some grog. More likely just get more quests. Speaking of, I should probably hydrate. Give me one moment. Was out mowing the lawn earlier and stuff, so got a nice big bottle of water with me today. Mostly because I just haven't gotten around to going to getting other drinks. I was going to walk to the gas station, and then it started trying to rain. Figured, maybe I don't feel like walking to the gas station. Alright, we're back to the pub. I've set my water back down. Demokri here is going to come in handy once we get other jobs unlocked, especially the crafting and gathering ones. The leaves you can access from them are good for getting extra XP. What's this person want? That might actually come in handy. Wants us to prepare a treat for the barkeep. He starts speaking of the old days, never fails to mention Aurelie? Something like that. It's that weird creature that I could have done in the hunt log. But we're going to run into them on our way to Summerford anyway. Apparently, Baderon and his mates used to eat the creatures on occasion. She's under the impression he still has fond memories of that life. So she wants us to go pick up a few of the umbrellas from him, hoping he'll appreciate it. Says if we're willing to help speak to Clindrail by the aft castle. Like I was saying, we're gonna end up just going right by that area anyway, so we might as well. But now we can go back to the main story. And he'll give us boots. Nice. He wants us to lend a hand at Summerford Farms. Summerford happens to be an orchard. The owner of that orchard is Stalewern. It used to be a ship made of Baderons. Most of the farmers are reformed pirates. Should make the place kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, all we gotta do is take the Zephyr Gate out of the city, head east. We do have the Smith here again. Apparently he does give you tips and stuff on how to run your class. I may look into him later just to see what that's all about. That being said, I tend to play tank classes a lot. When my wife plays, she tends to play spellcasters, so she needs someone to basically act as a meat shield. So that's the role I end up with a lot of the time. If she gets her subscription back and gets the new expansion, she may be joining me in some of these videos. We're going to see what happens. Apparently the Rising is going on. Also, I found the delivery Moogle for the mail. He's just going on about how most of us think he should probably be hiding in a tree, curled up, taking a nap, and he's like, yeah, if I had my choice, I'd be doing that too. But he's got mail to deliver. And then, of course, we'll get that about the mail service. Actually, I'm going to take that. It's going to help level up faster. That'll worry about later. That stuff can be worried about later. That stuff can also be worried about later. I will have to grab that later. It actually allows you to summon a behemoth as a mount. It's really slow. It's just kind of fun to ride around on a behemoth. Wind up toys that'll follow you around. Random cosmetic accessories. Most don't have anything real bonus. Those goggles I grabbed at the beginning, though, are actually a pre-order bonus from way back in... It was either 1.0 or 2.0. Basically, if you pre-ordered, you got that. It gave you a 10% XP buff. This I will grab, though. Telling us about untradeable items. I will probably come back to the delivery Moogle once I cut the video, just to grab the rest of that and get it in my inventory, but I don't think you guys want me to sit here going through the whole bit of mail right now. But, because I have that, earlier it was talking about the armory chest, so we're going to pull up the armory chest, and the character page, because all of this stuff is just random depending on your race. It has no real bonuses or buffs or anything like that. So we're going to take the goggles, equip them, and I can't even see them. Alright, different clothing, even though this is all going to just get changed once I start getting proper gear. That's better. I'm no longer wearing a leather gladiator skirt kind of thing. The goggles seem fitting. I'm fairly sure I have some squall gear as well, but I just grabbed the cloud gear as it was the first one we stumbled upon. Need to speak to her for the dealing with the Aurelias. She's just like, have you ever considered trying to eat one of those foul things? Well, if you really want to find them, they're by the river just past the Tempest Gate to the east. So since that's done, we need to go out here. Now, when I hit endgame and cosmetics become more of a thing, also I believe they're sometimes considered glamours. It's been a while since I've looked at the proper terminology for it, because there are several different games I play that involve such things, and they're called different things in every game. You may see this gear come back, just because whatever my highest end gear, I'll be able to make it look like other gear I have. So, yeah. you may see this gear come back near the end game, or if I'm just kind of messing around and not going and doing a lot of fighting, or any other time I'm doing like really low level content, if I'm, say, trying a new character class, something like that. Either this or some of the others. If I end up doing Rogue into Ninja, I may play around with the Zidane gear for a little bit. Just seems fitting for back how 9 was. Alright, let's find out if my not character, but my camera is set up the way I like it. How is that not in range? Come back here, you jellyfish. Good, glad I dodged that. That ability you saw with the AoE that popped up is called Numbing Tendrils. It paralyzes you for a few seconds. They're low enough level enemies that it's not a huge deal, it's just kind of annoying to get paralyzed. And I completely forgot to go to the Marauders Guild. Sorry, guys. I might run that in the end of the video. That's theirs, I'll leave it alone. I mean, I could probably get it to finish by hitting it anyway, but I don't want to risk stealing it from them. Alright, well, that was my bad. I'm going to hit return, bounce myself back to Limsa, run to the Marauders Guild, maybe turn this quest in while I'm at it. It really is just that simple for that one. Then we'll be headed back to Summerford. The important thing is we will be progressing the story in this video. And in most videos we will be attempting to progress the story. This just happened to be a quality of life thing, trying to get both done at the same time. Otherwise it is just a lot of back and forth. Even though probably it looks like a lot of back and forth right at the moment anyway. That's mostly on me, because it's been a little while since I've really gotten into this. Love the game. It really was just the other games I was playing, the company that made them really got themselves to the point where they're like, yes, our games should be your hobby, but that means we're also going to be putting out enough content that you have no time for anything else other than work and maybe sleep. And you're lucky if that includes the sleep part. And if they had their way, they probably wouldn't include the work part either. They'd want you playing their games 24/7. We're back by the Bismarck, the place where you would learn how to do your, I believe they call the class Culinarian, basically your cooking job. If I don't do all of the side quests at the moment, part of that is saving some for when I'm going to need side quests to level up other jobs. They're not required, it just does speed things up a little bit. Alright, so I'm getting something from one of the side quests that'll be a chest piece, boots from another one. I want to keep the goggles on for a little bit for the XP bonus. It's only 10%, but it's still something, so I'm probably going to take the gloves from this. He wants us to experience a traditional marauder training method. He's like, you show up determined, unswerving, and bereft of the hesitation that marked our first meeting. I am pleased. Good for you, dude. I don't really care that you're pleased. He's talking about how the axe is set aside from the gladius or dagger just because of its raw, unstoppable destruction and the overwhelming power of the blows. Gotta go to the practice area downstairs. Oh yeah, that part always threw me off. Um, Downstairs, actually, the other side. When I really started dabbling in this class in the past, um, we had just gotten machinist, which dealt with pistols and such. So I always thought that this side was pistols for some reason. He's talking about what his name is, and it's good to meet a new marauder. And they want us to go split rocks with an axe. Why not? This becomes much easier once we actually get all of the aetherites attuned to. Because when they're just like, oh, you need to go here, it's by this gate, you're able to just teleport to that specific gate. Saves so much time from having to run around. It's also going to make the videos maybe seem like they're going a little faster because should have a mount by that point, and I'm not gonna have to be just running everywhere. Over here, grab that piece of gear. He's asking if it was us that she said was gonna be dropping by to deliver something special. So we give him the umbrellas. He's like, you didn't have to go to all this trouble. And that smell. Says it's some of the nastiest stuff he's ever put in his mouth. He's tried sprinkling it with salt and cooking it over a campfire. It was still a little better than chewing on driftwood. But what do I care? We get chest gear for it. The chest gear we could get or from the Marauder Guild quest would be a little better, but it's probably a better idea for us to diversify our guild or our gear drops for the time being. I don't believe I've attuned to this. I'll attune to it real fast. Gets us closer to being able to teleport to gates. Okay. Most of this stuff for the time being is easy enough that I'm probably not gonna put that new gear on until near the end of the video, but let's check our map here, see where all we gotta go. That is the wrong way. Wow, I'm sorry everybody. I'm really getting my map confused. Then again, as stated in the first video, it has been ages since I've played this game, and this was always a bit of a weirder map, so I'm forgetting where things are. I went out the wrong gate. So we're gonna come over here. Big frogs. That being said, if we keep going, we'll go to those mines that we were at earlier. Pop us back to where we need to go. then again, I guess this does lend credence to the idea of new player-ish again, just because a new player is probably going to get lost in here a little bit. Could take down the dodos, but don't really see a reason to right at the moment. I mean, most of you probably want me to get to the next area for story anyway. Hmm. Sorry, just had a bit of a twinge through my arm. Soon I'll be able to sprint again. If you notice up in the upper left, we do have On to Summerford is our main quest. Axe in the Stone is a sub-quest. And we also have that over here. That is a newer change. We didn't used to have something quest-wise up in the upper left. Oh, someone has the car from Final Fantasy 15. That, I believe, is a cash shop item. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can earn in-game, and then they have more stuff you can get through their cash shop. They believe they call it the Mog Station. You can cover your subscription through there, but then there's also a lot of other stuff you can buy that's cosmetic, though they do have boost packs, or at least they did at one time, that allows you to either boost straight to a specific level and still play the main story, or they do have some that allow you to skip the main story and boost to a specific level if you want to get right into some other content. That's really a to each their own sort of thing. Some people love it, some people don't. Some people feel that a person should take the time to learn their job before getting to those higher levels. As said, it's really all personal preference. Apparently, I earned the achievement storyteller. I don't even know how I did that. There's Rotgeim. Wants us to know if we're ready to split some stone. It's basically just go up and hit him with heavy swing, our basic ability. Here's one. Not sure why I wasn't targeting properly, but it worked now. I may have actually been clicking incorrectly. Sometimes they can get a little weird about that. Hey, most of the time you'll be right clicking, and then sometimes it'll want you to left click for something like this. Doesn't entirely make sense. It's just one of the weird little quirks. Not quirk as in My Hero Academia quirk, but the other version. Now it wants us to go smack more rocks, this time with heavy swing. Yeah, these, if you want to call them guild missions, can get a little weird in the stuff they want you to do. Like, I believe the Arcanist, I think it is. Sorry about that. Computer was acting weird a moment, and I was focusing on dealing with that. Yeah, Arcanist has some of the missions. I believe you end up having to fend off pirates while doing it, but you start out by basically having to go onto a ship and check their ledgers to make sure that they're transporting appropriate goods to the market. Like, you can get some weird quests from these. They're fun, they add character to the story, but they can be a little weird. I mean, I'm breaking rocks with an axe. And basically, it's like, yeah, go back to the Axe Master, let him know you're ready for something better. Doesn't look like that's actually done, though, so we'll get back to that after we venture to Summerford. Yeah, I don't think any of us wants me just sitting around killing sheep, especially not ones that are frenzied. Okay, this we might do. Basically, deal with mandragoras that don't want to stand still. So this is a fate. It is instanced. This one's going to go pretty quickly. If you are below the level for it, it'll actually bring you up to that level. If you are above it, you can sink down. Otherwise, your progress doesn't get counted. But it's just something, it'll give you some extra XP and gold. Most of the time, they're not too difficult. I mean, this one is literally just fight a bunch of mandragoras that are apparently doing more damage than I realized. And hey, I got knocked out. Way to go, me. Was not expecting that in a fate. Then again, oh well. Looks like the other person doing it got knocked out as well. So I'm going to return. I believe I will be taking a small penalty for that one. I probably shouldn't have bothered with it, but oh well. I mean, at least this isn't SAO where you're going to have a real penalty for getting knocked out. Alright, we're back. That was a weird little thing I just saw. I might have to check it out in a combat situation. If I'm here, we'll go to the Marauders Guild real fast. Maybe I actually should have put on that new gear. Oh well. Alright, and he's saying that a situation came up. He has said that we'd be on our way to deal with it. We're going to have to deal with very large crustaceans. But we are going to get help from a woman named Sulkwib, who is a healer. There she is. She also happens to be the Guildmaster's sister. Alright. This one will actually take place back in Lower Lenasia. So, yeah, interacting with stuff on the quests. Actually, we're gonna do this the smart way. Yeah, that will take us out to where we want to go. Gonna sprint just to save a little bit of time. That is always so nice with this game. It's raining and the clothes actually appear kind of wet. Unlike other MMOs that people could think about. And I'll be able to run again here soon, but we might be close enough it might not be necessary. Because that building that you can sort of see up there, mostly you can see from the lighting, that is Summerford Farms. Looks like I gotta go up top to talk to the owner of Summerford. While we're here, we're also going to attune to this aetherite. That way, if we really want to, and if we want to actually spend the coin, we can just teleport here in the future. Also, if we're doing a lot around here, we could take the time to set that as our home aetherite, and it would bring us back here anytime something happens. He says that it's a good start because we honored his word. This is his orchard. It is a nice little place. Yeah, they actually, most of the people he employs used to crew his pirate ship. As you'll discover later, there is a character by the name of Admiral Merlwib. Mirlwib. It's yeah, another one of those hard to pronounce. Basically, when she took over, she created an initiative so all the former pirates were able to start working the fields, and he felt it was too good of an offer to pass up. Yeah, he's just needing help because the people that he has don't really like this kind of work, and the botanists that he got to help put him back into shape, yeah, they're not having a good time of it. We'll grab these boots. Gives us another Allegan piece, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be able to sell that for cash later. He'll give us a new mission. That's going to give us a new axe, which is kind of a moot point since we should be getting one from the Marauders Guild when we finish up. May end up just taking something that we can use for other classes later. He does want to inspect our equipment. Yeah, we need equipment for the head, body, hands, legs, and feet with item level 5 or better. Basically, he's just trying to make sure that you're not going to get yourself killed when you go do his quests. We should be able to get a good portion of this. Part of why I was doing this the way I was is otherwise we'd have to go do just like a bunch of side quests and stuff trying to get the gear. This way, as we turn stuff in, we actually have a good portion of it already. So we're going to run and go deal with those crabs. And then I think we'll head back to Limsa. Pull up the map just to make sure I'm heading in the right direction. It is nice that it is semi-transparent. I mean, at least you can leave it up and it not really block the screen. One thing you will notice as you play this game, if you should choose to, is at least a low-level stuff for your hunt log is actually going to be in areas right around your main starting area. It's kind of nice. You're not going to have to do a bunch of like running and teleporting around to begin with. Oh, that's lower decks. I need to go down there. And I can sprint again. The 1 minute cooldown on that for about 20 seconds of sprinting is slightly disappointing, but that gets alleviated as soon as we get our first mount. I may look in to see if I can remedy that later. The Legacy, Chocobo Whistle, and some of the others should be able to take care of that issue. Otherwise, normally you don't get a mount until later in the game. Now, I may try to, at least on initial classes, over level a little bit from time to time just to make sure that we don't hit points where it's like, oh, I just have to go grind for a while to make things better. Or not better, but so that I can actually do the next stuff. That's weird. Oh, okay, that's for that. Where is... I gotta go down, okay. I know at least in the first expansion, Heaven's Ward, when I was on my primary account, I was running into issues where I would be working through the main story, and I'd hit a point where I'd have to go just grind till I'd get to the next level, do a few missions, and then grind till I got to the next level. Granted, at the time I was rather behind on that story, so I was trying to get through it quickly. I could have been doing a bunch of other things to help out, and I wasn't. And again, I want to say at the time I was also just trying to run a bunch of dungeons to gear up at the time, which was fun, but it can get old if you're just running the same dungeon over and over again. But I was trying to get specific pieces of gear, and my luck was really bad at the time, so I might get like one piece every 5 runs, because I was just having a lot of really bad luck at the time. Normally, I'll walk out with at least one new piece of gear from a dungeon anytime I run it, which that's not too bad. Normally I can supplement pretty well with crafting, but I'd also considerably outstripped my crafting level by that point, and the free company I was with was becoming a little less active because most people were just getting out of the game for various reasons. Usually, a lot of it was life related, something we all can understand. Um, but it made it kind of hard to get a hold of the free company leader. And the one we had, he was great. He was the type of guy that if you needed some gear for something and he had the materials or you could get them for him, he'd make it for you. Made it really easy to keep your gear up to date. And I got distracted from talking and ran too far. Sorry, that was my bad. Alright, we will deal with this nest. Our healer friend should keep us plenty healthy for this. Which means it doesn't really matter that I'm still wearing crummy gear. Yeah, it looks like no one's home. And someone's yelling they need aid. Mostly because his grandson decided to go and do something stupid. Alright, so if we take ourselves over here, we have very large crustaceans to fight. And the level sync is in effect. So basically, in this case, if you're above level 9, it'll sync you back down to level 9. I'm going to go ahead and give this a try in my current gear. If this doesn't work, I'll put on some better gear and give it another try, but having that healer with us should make this doable even like this. The cosmetic gear is nice, but it gives you basically no bonuses to your stats. It really is purely cosmetic. The kid wants the crab to get away from him. Swears a few times he is the son of a sailor. Or a former sailor, if I'm not mistaken. Only downside about putting new gear on is I look cool in this gear. Alright. Might take out the smaller ones first. One. I leveled up. Two. But this one's level 15. He's a big boy. Oh, sweet. I forgot about that ability. Off global cooldown Berserk. Start hitting this guy hard. I'll hit the guy behind us. I must have lost my Berserk status. It does slow me down a moment when I exit out of Berserk. And another big one came in. Berserk does appear to have a 1-minute cooldown. But we now have more allies that joined us. We have the completely overleveled healer and an overleveled marauder. And now we gotta run and go deal with more. Alright, good, I will have Berserk back here momentarily. Granted, with the help, I'm not sure it's entirely necessary, but it's fun. And that is the end of that duty. So we've gone to Summerford Farms. The kid's thanking us. He thought he was dead. Is what he gets for playing with large crabs. And this sets us up for later quests because his parents got killed by a very large ox-like creature called an auroch. He wants to make it pay. Folkweb saying our first duty was a success. We can head back to the guild. The other marauder seems like he needs some better armor. That doesn't look like it'll protect enough. Alright. Well, we'll do this the easy way. Because, yeah, it's time to return. Nice thing is I am taking a little more generic gear at the moment, so I should be able to use it when I start working on the rogue. Like, while I like the gear that the guild gives us as the option for the chest piece, it will not work with a lot of classes, if I remember correctly. Whereas the piece I grabbed earlier from the thing with the jellyfish looking things, that'll work for pretty much any Disciple of War class. Alright, we're going to teleport ourselves to the Marauders Guild. Yep, and he's like, hey, you shattered some shells and saved a kid. Did a good job. And saying that those crabs aren't normally in that area. They were ousted from their normal home by a much fiercer beast. It's the same one that killed the boy's parents. Wants to know if we're dealing or having thoughts of vengeance, and it says if so, we need to nurture those, but don't act upon them yet. We're not ready. Alright, so we get the new axe. That'll be nice. I believe that's the same one that we were offered by, or out at Summerford. So because of that, we're probably going to grab a different weapon out at Summerford because we get this regardless. We got boots. We got the chest piece, so I think we're going to grab the leather gloves. And then he is set until we hit level 10. Where we will go do some other things, get a new axe, and options of more gear. So I'll take a moment here, put on the new gear. Still don't have a belt. I thought I'd already gotten new legs. I'm gonna have to remember what that was. Might have been the Edelweiss. Or no, it's this. Okay. I think. So that gets us most of the way towards what we needed for Summerford. But with that said, Head, body, hands, legs, and feet. So I need head and legs. Might need some different feet as well, but... Or no. Okay, I'm getting my gear mixed up. I know there's some gear that or takes away your legs, so I'm going to have to go find some side quests that will give me a headpiece and legs. That being said, I've been going for a little while. I don't think you guys want to keep watching this video right now, or it's going to end up being a really long one. Actually, I forgot one very important thing. New axe. More damage, that'll help. Alright, well again, with that being said, I have been Black Cat Hobbies. This has been the beginnings of a playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. We made it to Summerford today. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And hit that notification bell because YouTube is, well, it's YouTube. And they like to keep changing things. If you didn't like it, well, hey, leave me a comment in the comments section. If it's something I can work on, I'll see what I can do. If you liked it, feel free to leave a comment as well. I'll be happy to hear from you. I'm trying to check comments on about a daily basis and respond to as many as I can. Hopefully the rest of your day will go well. Thank you for watching. May you have an awesome day. I will talk to you all in the next video.